What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent hump day today. Having a look at Bitcoin, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback. In fact, if you have a look at the chart right here on the lower time frames, you could even argue that this looks somewhat like a head and shoulders pattern, which often does signal a trend reversal. We will talk about that a little bit later today. In yesterday's video, we spoke about the potential of a double top for Bitcoin. Is that in the cards? Well, if you watched yesterday's video, you already know how I feel about the imminent bull run. Still, we have lost over $200 billion from the market cap. As you can see right here, a lot of coins are down. Now, we do have Shiba Inu, which I know a lot of new people to the space are very excited about this meme coin, up 100% on the weekly, and one of the few coins actually doing well today, although generally when we tend to see meme coins pumping, it usually doesn't signal a healthy market, so to speak. You may disagree, but listen, we will get back to this in just a minute. What I want to talk about today is what we can expect, why this is happening. Are we actually looking for a massive pullback on this potential head and shoulders pattern? I want to talk about a mysterious Bitcoin miner who's had his wallet dormant for about 11 years now, just woke up and decided to start selling Bitcoin. Does he know something we don't? Does it even matter at this point? We're going to get into that. I also want to talk about something that analysts are referring to as a systemic risk for Bitcoin. Is that something that we should be concerned about? It does have something to do with the Bitcoin rich list, if you know what I'm talking about. We'll get into that in just a bit. And for everyone out there who's simply here just to try to make as much money as possible, well, you're in luck, because I've been doing a lot of research and I have two potential upcoming projects, altcoins, which could be very, very valuable investments if you get into them early. That will be at the end of the video. Make sure you stick around all to the end. Thank you so much for coming back. You guys rock. My name is K-Dub, and without further ado, let's dive into the charts. Actually, before we dive into the charts, let me give you a little bit of an explanation sort of about what is happening right now. Now, we knew that Bitcoin wasn't just going to blast right through, the all-time high and just keep on going. We know that healthy markets need these corrections. Now, you can see right here, this is according to Crypto Briefing. You had the flash crash resulting in more than $850 million worth of long and short positions liquidated across the leading crypto derivatives platforms. In fact, one very unfortunate soul was liquidated for about $130 million worth of Ethereum alone. Yikes, gotta be careful with that leverage, guys. It can get very, very dangerous, but nevertheless, this is what we see time and time again. You can actually see that they're discussing sort of the red flags in conjunction with the funding rates. Now, they say that favorable funding rates of about 0.1% or higher every 8 hours are generally considered unsustainable. Data from CryptoQuant revealed that Bitcoin's estimated leverage ratio across all exchanges was hovering at about 0.19%. This is obviously a negative signal. This cannot continue. We do need to reset. Unfortunately, we do need to have some of these positions liquidated, right? This is all part of the ebb and flow of the market. So now that we have that out of the way, that's sort of the why. This is what's happening. I showed you yesterday the CBBI historical chart, which does give a prediction of around Bitcoin tops should end. Currently is only sitting at about a 61, as you can see right here. Going down and looking at the previous charts, we tend to get up into that high 90s, 9900 category, sitting at around 61. I don't believe that this is anywhere near the top of the bull run. However, we could see that potential for a pullback. Now, one thing that's interesting, if you just want to look at the macro, shout out to Smart Crypto over on Twitter. He actually put these two side-by-side comparisons of essentially what happened in 2017 versus what we're seeing today. And he used some Fibonacci sequences, and he says if it was to follow the same way that the end of the quarter happened for 2017. Looking at it right now, you are actually still on track for significantly higher prices. In fact, he even goes as far to say as a $300,000 Bitcoin is still in the cards. And you could see he is pointing out to the same retrace to the 0.236 fib right here while following the upwards trend. Now, let me show you what I had pulled up yesterday. Obviously, we did... Well, in yesterday's video, I was actually giving more of a macro overlook, looking at the 4-hour, which is a bit of a lower time frame, so you do have to take it with a grain of salt. Yes, we are seeing a bit of a potential head and shoulders forming. We have already fallen below the neckline. The neckline is a little bit subjective. You can kind of look at it and sort of have your own opinions on where it is. I've drawn mine roughly about right here. So if we were to fall below this neckline, just doing a very simple measurement here, that would actually put us down at around the $53,000 level into the blue zone. Now, am I saying that we're going to have a dramatic drop and that we're just going to crash right down? No, we could possibly attempt to find some support right here, but I was a little bit weary yesterday, which is why I said I was anticipating a bit of a drawback. I would like to at least see Bitcoin have a nice healthy retest down here at around this $55,700 level. This would also be in conjunction with the support that we had back here after the blast off on October 21st. And I also want to look at the fact that we may fall into the blue zone. Now, let me pull this chart out a little bit. Let me look back at the daily. Doesn't look so bad on the daily, right? Still looks quite nice. Actually, you know what? We could just get rid of this trend right here because it really doesn't matter right now. We've clearly broken out of the downtrend. We are, in fact, in an uptrend. So what I'm keeping my eyes on here is either reclaiming this around this area of about 52 to 53,000, which was my target area. If you are looking to potentially put in a long, that would be where I would start definitely getting interested. Anywhere in here is extra, with the absolute bottom of this blue zone being about 50. Now, the one thing I don't want to see is I do not want to see this uptrend lost, okay? I don't want to see us fall really anywhere below 45,000. If we fall below $45,000, not to be, the bear on the channel, but then we may have to pack it up and maybe I'll see you guys in 2 years after the bear market. But before we start talking about bear markets, we haven't even come close to the support of these trends. So like I said, right here, I would expect a little bit of a bounce around this consolidation area of 54,000, but we could see Bitcoin go as low as even the high 40s, 48, 49. So that's what I'm keeping my eyes on, guys. Trend is your friend until the end. I've been saying this on my channel for years. We are not out of the trend. We are in an uptrend. We're in a macro uptrend. So as far as I'm concerned, this is just a healthy pullback. But like I said, if you are looking to long and short, those are some of the potential places you might be interested in doing it. Now, another thing to consider is that we also had the S&P making an all-time high. And although people like to say that Bitcoin and the S&P are not actually correlated, in reality, they still are. Unfortunately, Bitcoin has not fully detached itself from traditional markets. Now, if you just want to analyze essentially what happens every single time we have a high in the stock market and then we break that high, we often do have a pullback. You can see right back here, we put in a high on May of earlier this year. We had a little bit of a drawback. We came up, we surpassed it, and we took a dip, okay? So you can see that happened right there. We have confirmation. Right here, we have the same thing. Took a little bit longer, okay? A little bit longer. We did have a retest down at that level, and, you could see as soon as we broke it again, we came back down. So this is just the ebb and flow of the markets. You have your peaks, you have your troughs. Dips are for buying. Pumps are for selling or just hodling if you're a long-term hodler. So there is that correlation. The fact that we just saw the S&P put in an all-time high wouldn't be uncommon to see it potentially come down minimally, at least to retest this level, which in conjunction, I do believe that Bitcoin would also be affected, right? Now, having a look at the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin, you will notice something very interesting forming on this chart, which is actually somewhat of a cup and handle. Have a look at this. So we have the cup, and we also have the handle. Now, this doesn't mean that we couldn't come down here a little bit more, retest right around the $1.33 trillion level for the overall market cap, excluding Bitcoin. But ultimately, if you are a textbook pattern trader, this is a very, very bullish setup for the altcoins specifically, which we will get into in a bit. In fact, you could see Ethereum putting in a bit of a sloppier kind of cup and handle. As we know, Ethereum does tend to lead the way. And this is why I said, in yesterday's video, we were talking about the way that the market flows, how it goes from cash into Bitcoin, generally into Ethereum next, and then it trickles down. And considering the fact that we just saw some of these lower caps having a bit of a pump, that could be indication that the mini cycle has to reset. We do have to flush out those high leverage longs and some shorts as well, and then we can continue on our way. And you can see we do have this legacy trend right here starting back on January 6th. This is Ethereum that we're looking at right now. We do have multiple levels of support. If you're looking to trade Ethereum, I would expect a bounce at around 3,633. My next level is 3,362. And of course, I do not want to lose this trend right here. So if we were to fall down straight today, that would put us at around $2,950. You really don't want to lose that level with the absolute lowest of around 2,700. Once we break below that, well, then you've broken market structure. You're starting to put in lower lows on the chart, which is not generally good. But as far as today is concerned, everything is still looking perfectly fine. So if you're not currently in a short right now, I'm not suggesting that you put in a short. There is still a potential of Bitcoin coming down a little bit lower. If you are in your short, sure, you could take a few profits if you want, hold the other half, totally up to you. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. If you are interested though, friendly reminder that we do have over $5,100 in bonuses below. Bybit is actually having one of their biggest rewards that I've ever seen so far. They're giving away $3,500, $600 for joining. You can check the rewards program. Check the deposit information. Those links are below in the description, and Femex as well if you're interested in altcoins. And don't forget, they also have spot trading. I don't recommend trading leverage specifically if you are, new to crypto and not experienced. So you can practice on a paper account, risk-free, or you can just do $10 a month spot trading. So check that out in the links below in the description. But getting back to Bitcoin specifically, and then I want to talk about two altcoins that I have my eyes on that could be good opportunities, especially if you're, new to the space or you're just looking to get into something very, very early, right? That's the key, getting in before everybody else. We'll get to that in a second. But we did have a Bitcoin miner, a mysterious Bitcoin miner who mined some Bitcoin on May 17th of 2010. Back then, the rewards were 50 per block. Well, it looks like after 11 years, he has in fact decided to move his Bitcoin, most likely looking to sell it. So some people are assuming he made a 76,249% profit, pretty incredible. But some people are worried, why is this miner waking up? At the end of the day, guys, it's only 50 Bitcoin, worth about $3 million at today's price. Not a big deal. It's just that these types of news events kind of spook people. Like, why is this person deciding to sell now? They've held it for 11 years. Well, we don't know the story. Maybe they lost their keys. They found it. They found an old hard drive they forgot about. Nobody really knows the story. Keep in mind, back in 2010, it was very easy to mine Bitcoin. You didn't need all the big rigs that you need today. 50 Bitcoin back then was worth less than $4 for all 50. So yeah, just to put that into perspective. So these types of stories come out all the time, not something I would be concerned about. But one thing that analysts are referring to as sort of a systemic risk for Bitcoin is the fact that they say ahead of Bitcoin's price plummet, researchers found that Bitcoin is still concentrated among a handful of holders, warning this makes Bitcoin susceptible to systemic risk. Now, just to put things into perspective, we all know that there are a lot of small players holding a lot of Bitcoin. However, in the grand scheme of things, even if you were a small fish in the sea, this time last year on this day, give or take the slight pullback, Bitcoin is still up over 400%. So where are you going to find that, in traditional markets? You're really not, unless you find like the most amazing penny stock of all time, right? So the analysts over at National Bureau of Economic Research went on to say that our results suggest that despite the significant attention that Bitcoin has received over the last few years, the Bitcoin ecosystem is still unfortunately dominated by large players. This inherent concentration makes Bitcoin susceptible, and they found that the biggest 10,000 Bitcoin holders held around 27% of the total supply, most of them being exchanges as well as miners. Now, this is all verifiable information. They're not making this up. They're not really trying to spread FUD. Why bring it up now? I don't know, Forbes, you tell me. But at the same time, you can see in the Bitcoin rich list, unfortunately, we have a massive concentration right here. Total percentage of coins, 28.13%, basically being in the top biggest holders, most of them between 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin. So yes, it is in fact not perfectly evenly distributed, you could see that 51% of the addresses hold only about 0.02% of the coins, which is why I always tell you, my friends, when you're selling your Bitcoin, who are you selling to on the other end? We know that the institutions played the good old Wyckoff distribution, Wyckoff accumulation, and now we're back. And anyone that was panic selling at those levels, well, most likely you were selling to the institutions, making the bigger whales bigger, which is why I always advise, not financial advice, do what you want, but it's always good to hold a portion of your portfolio in Bitcoin. But I understand Bitcoin is not going to make multi-millionaires. Some people tell me, I can't even afford a Bitcoin. I understand, my friends. This is why we need to talk about the number 2 prospect of this bull run, which is the wealth generation. Bitcoin is wealth preservation, wealth generation, often in the altcoins. As you can see, Shiba Inu up 20% today, putting in new all-time highs, regardless of my opinion or your opinion about the fact that it's just a meme coin, it's, Doge 2.0. The reality is it was a lot easier to make money in a lower cap coin like Shiba Inu, which is actually why I'm going to transition into 2 coins that I'm interested in right now. And the coolest thing about this is these coins are not even available yet. I love bringing these to you so unbelievably early. For example, we actually talked about Polkastarter. Now, Polkadot was massive. It was huge. The ecosystem, anything related to Polkadot was a buzzword. You guys know I'm still massively bullish on Polkadot, but obviously it has lost a little bit of the momentum to some of these other players. Solana has had an incredible run. So if you guys remember Polkastarter, this is a project that we spoke about way down here before the price was even above 20 cents. We talked about this coin at 18 cents. In fact, I spoke about this coin before it even came out. But that being said, you could see that there was massive interest in the Polkadot ecosystem, and this coin went from under 20 cents to over $6.47. Now, it has pulled back, obviously, since the high. It is still higher than when we originally talked about it. So even if you held through all the madness and you bought on the day I spoke, well, you're technically still up. But the point I'm trying to make is what this was a launch pad for Polkadot IDOs, right? Well, what is the next big thing? That's what you have to pay attention to. In fact, on my Twitter, I don't have it pulled up right now, I actually asked everyone, what are you more bullish on, NFTs or layer 1s? And to my surprise, a lot of people are still very bullish on layer 1s. I don't have it pulled up. Check it out on Twitter if you guys are interested, at the Crypto Zombie. You can go follow me on Twitter. Actually, the poll might even still be open. You might even still be able to give your opinion on that. But the point I'm trying to make is that we now have Star Launch, okay? So Star Launch is not actually out yet, but they're looking to be the first insured IDO launch pad for Solana. Now you have to think about firsts, right? Think about Ethereum being really the first smart contract platform. Look how well that performed. We have Dogecoin being one of the first meme coins. I mean, you can hate it or love it. Look how that performed. Look at Chainlink, right? First Oracle, right? So now we have the first launch pad on Solana. So this is definitely something I'm going to be very interested in right now. Keep an eye on this, and I would imagine that some of the earlier projects will probably do quite well just simply because of the hype, right? You want to follow trends. You don't want to be emotional. You want to follow these trends, and you want to get in at the opportune time. And you can see that they are going to have a token. It's going to be called Stars. Now, there is currently a Star token on CoinGecko right now. Do not buy that. That's not the token. It's some other weird coin. Just, this is the official one. If you have any questions, make sure you guys join their official Telegram, follow them. But on top of this, I'm going to give you guys a twofer. So keep your eyes on Stars. But the first one that's going to be launching is I don't actually know if it's the official first, but I believe it's going to be. Oh, yeah, it is the first. Yes, it is the first. This is exactly why I put this up here. So Monkey Ball IDO is going to be the first to launch on Star Launch. So what are these guys over here? Well, essentially, it's basically like another one of those blockchain games, right? We've seen gaming has been very, very hot, regardless of your opinion on comparing these games to traditional games. They are in fact hot. You have seen collectibles, you've seen NFTs, you've seen in-game items, right? Very, very popular. So considering that this is right down the alley of video games, I'm assuming there's definitely going to be some kind of in-game reward system, probably these different things you can mint. Maybe you can change characters, skins, or something like that. So this is going to be a quick turn-based play-to-earn arcade soccer game offering a AAA gaming experience. So like I said, guys, I like to bring these to you nice and early before everyone else is talking about it. So big one right here, Star Launch, first launch pad on Solana. Like I said, going back and having a look at how PokeStarter performed, obviously it has dwindled since then, but look at this rush. Look at, and think about getting in right here before anybody was talking about it. So that's why I wanted to bring it up to you guys. Keep your eyes on Star Launch, and I don't know if you'll be able to get into the sales or not, but just keep your eyes on it. Monkey Ball being the first one that's going to be on that launch pad. So as you guys know, I'm doing a lot of research to bring you some of the top projects, and these are where you want to get in. You want to get in early. You want to get in before everyone else is talking about it. So these are not currently available yet, but I'm putting them on your radar now so you can do research. Obviously, guys, don't just buy something because I talked about it. It's not the purpose of this channel. The purpose of this channel is to give you information and allow you to make your own decisions, okay? Hopefully we're clear on that. Now, talking about, once again, the excitement around DeFi, NFTs, crypto gaming, Adobe is now looking to join in on the non-fungible token craze. They announced that their Photoshop product will receive a prepare as NFT option. The company made the announcement at the annual Max conference on October 26th, alongside several other updates that will cater to what seems to be a new era for digital artists. Among the most crypto-relevant updates is the fact that Adobe's Behance website will now let artists connect wallets to their portfolio websites. Furthermore, it's also focused on supporting several blockchains, including Polygon, Solana, Tezos, and Flow. So this is big news. These guys, they're seeing the change, they're seeing the shift in the narrative, and they're getting on board because they know either get on board or get left behind, right? So definitely big things ahead for NFTs. Do I think NFTs are a little bit of a bubble? A little bit. Hope I don't offend anyone. I think the current state of NFTs is a bit of a bubble, but NFTs as a whole, what they stand for, it absolutely is not going anywhere. And we're going to be seeing more and more things tokenized, buildings, ownership, land deeds, car titles, all of these things inevitably will end up on the blockchain. That's one of probably the best use cases for them, is that verification, right? Also, super quick news. I know these videos tend to get a little bit long. We have the Bitcoin Fund, QBTCU, a closed-end investment vehicle based in Canada, receiving regulatory approval from the Dubai Financial Services. So they're aiming to provide investors with exposure to Bitcoin, and a report by Trade Arabia states that the Bitcoin Fund is now in position to list up to $200 million worth of units on NASDAQ Dubai. So the Bitcoin Fund will be available to all investors of all levels, not just institutions or banks, but also to individual traders as well. And finally, guys, this is why I put this one all the way at the end, because who even knows about what's going on with India? Same thing with China. These guys can't figure out their stance, but I think the same way that China is looking to potentially unban mining, they realize that they made a big mistake. They're going to get left behind, and I think India also feels the same way. They say right here, recent developments indicate the government is looking to regulate the sector instead of squashing it, and industry experts remain optimistic. So we will have to see what happens in February. Hopefully it's good news for India. But once again, to all my Indian friends out there, even if it's bad news at the end of the day, they're not going to have a choice. What are they going to do? Let everybody else just, get ahead? They're not going to want to fall behind. I think that it will be good news. I think we will hear positive things coming out of Bitcoin. So yes, getting back to this chart from Smart Crypto to summarize everything, no, I'm not really worried about this current price action. Yes, I do think it would be very healthy. Even if Bitcoin potentially, tap that 59,000 wick down to the $50,000 level, I'm still a Bitcoin bull. I do not think the top is in, and according to this chart, we could be looking for an incredible 2022 for Bitcoin. So stick around, guys. Thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. If you're not subscribed, definitely get subscribed, hit the like, join the free Telegram group below, and don't forget, if you haven't seen these videos popping up right here, right now, check them out. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.